discover the RB20. You can keep it for what follows, but you can also opt for a vehicle that's a little less earthbound. The choice is yours.
Podcast, guys. As you've seen, the playground is a motorsport paradise, but there's still a place that we haven't experienced so far: the sky. I was lucky enough to feature Luke Chapella, Red Bull Air Race pilot, famous for being the first to land a plane on the very tiny helipad 600 feet in the air.
I'd love to know more about the bullseye stunt. There's an attempt, and then the plane like bounces and you keep going, and I had a heart attack and was like, oh my God.
I almost got a heart attack on the first one as well. It took me like 650 practice landings before I went for the actual landing on the helipad. So for an athlete to come out from what I thought was a failure, but that was quite challenging.
So cool. The video is online. You have to check it out. The next race is the most experimental of the playlist: AGP versus stunt plane. Place your bets. This is the second time that Red Bull is loaning you the RB20. You'll start to make a Dutchman jealous. Unsurprisingly, the AGP has the advantage on startup, but once the plane is airborne, it's a different story. If you're a Red Bull addict, you'll probably know that this isn't the first time an AGP and a plane have been put on the same grid. Last time, it was in a straight line in a drag race. Here the plane will have to make very tight turns if it wants to keep up with the AGP, which is much more accustomed to doing so. That's really exciting! We entered the second lap. I'm sure you're familiar with the RB20 on the track today, certainly more so than its aerial rival. Stressed for 10G and capable of reaching 975 meters per minute, its size makes it the perfect aerobatic aircraft. Let's hope our pilot will give us a taste. They're neck and neck. succession of turns is tricky. When it comes to speed, the AGPs play in a different division.
One more clash to close this Red Bull playlist. This one is big. Confronting two disciplines is not enough. So MotorFest and Red Bull are offering you the choice of three. Which is the best? Becky asked our Red Bull athletes what they think.
In your honest opinion, between rally, AGP and motor racing, which is the most intense discipline? The one that brings the craziest sensations?
I think it's motor racing, actually.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
I think F1, it's crazy.
Yeah, I'd go for Formula One.
Rallycross, motor racing, or AGP? Here comes the ultimate challenge of the playlist, but also the end of the podcast. But I'm never far away. I'm always on the air. You find all the podcasts on the Sounds of Red Bull tracklist. And then, I don't know why, but I feel like we'll see each other again soon. It's off to the apex of the playlist. The Ford Fiesta replaced another Ford at short notice. The Puma missed weight. Who will cross the line first in this head-to-head race? Answer in, about a few minutes. The rally car has already changed its course to reach the dirt. Each vehicle has its own special route designed to match its strengths. The AGP stands out for its speed and braking quality, and of course it sticks to asphalt and is unbeatable in corners. So to make things fair, it will be racing the longest route. The bike's route, on the other hand, is shorter but ultra-technical, forcing the rider to swing through the curves without losing speed. Switching between dirt and asphalt, that's its strength. In addition to its high acceleration, its all-terrain capability means it can compete with faster rivals. Family photo. The AGP seems to be ahead for the moment, but don't forget that its path is the longest. Everything can still change.
Time.
We're coming to the end. We're about to find out who's going to win the ultimate racetrack, the Speed War. Stronger than asphalt, the rally car set the fastest time.
You've yet to claim your reward, driver. End of speed clash. The first milestone in a promising relationship between Red Bull and MotorFest. I'm sure this is just the beginning. You've discovered a multitude of racing vehicles in this playlist, all of them motorsports gems. But we had to choose just one for the reward. We thought maybe you wouldn't mind having a Red Bull branded Ferrari in your garage. The Ferrari F48 GT3 FE Corse is just for you. Giving a brand new playlist a go. A new playlist means new adventures, driver. Fest invites you off the beaten track for its wildest experience, the Off-Roading Series, a rugged championship that'll see you through jaw-dropping remote locations. This is what the MotorFest series is all about, beating professional drivers on their own turf. Other than racing across a variety of terrains, you'll also get the chance to try out a bunch of off-road vehicles. Series comes with its own professionals. This time, you'll meet Pierce, a British off-road specialist invited by the MotorFest to help guide you through Hawaii's complex terrain. There isn't a place in the world that Pierce hasn't visited, as well as being an outstanding mechanic. He knows all about off-road environments. At your side, you'll never get bored. He's extremely skillful, enthusiastic, and just a little unpredictable. smell it? The promise of adventure in the air? I can't, of course. I'm an AI, but I bet you do. Motor Fest invites you off the beaten track for its wildest experience, the Off-Roading Series, a rugged championship that'll see you through jaw-dropping remote locations. Off-Roading Addict, a series championship by Motor Fest. Next in line. The first step, a quad race. Perfect to get you into the swing of things. from Pierce so far, but he'll get there. Told you, unpredictable. The Motorfest invites you to rendezvous at Peacock Flats, your first taste of true freedom on the island. What says countryside more than a good old-fashioned pickup? These typically American cars, originally designed as work vehicles, have grown in power, modernity and style, but still maintain their true essence, off-roading. To enjoy the open expanse. But don't forget that the championship is also starting, and those first points count. Hopefully Pierce will show up on time for the second race. So, ready for the second step?
Can you hear me? Sorry I'm late. Bloody traffic jam. Don't worry, I'm on my way. Where was that path again? Let me check my map. Oh, right, there you are. I'm coming. Oh, sorry, where are my manners? I'm Pierce. They call me the off-road specialist, but simply off-roader will do. Pleased to meet you, my friend. I'm going to do my best to share my knowledge and scout the field ahead, so you can avoid any nasty surprises. Lesson 1. Always know your environment. What's that? Okay, hold on tight. You're gonna love this. Now that's what I call a bloody landing, my friend. Whoa! Toyota Tacoma. Great choice. A bit modern for my taste, but Japanese trucks are more than reliable. This descent is going to be shaky. You'll need to keep your speed up if you want your suspension to hold. A beach full of wrecks! Glorious! What a ride! I couldn't have imagined a better first meeting.
Our next event is a few kilometers away. Feel free to follow the shore for a while. When it comes to off-roading, there are a surprising number of viable vehicles. You might think that only a sturdy, high-up four-wheel drive could do the job, but there are actually way more options. Tried the quads and modern dirt track cars. Now it's time to go with a more compact and versatile option, the motorbike. Our choice, the BMW R1200 GS. bikes allow for an entirely different style of driving, so we're able to put you out on a very special route. Certified daredevils only. We're here. Trust me. You're not ready for this.
Okay, I'm right above you. Let's do this. You're biking this time. Not quite the same experience, but I can tell from up here you're going to have a lot of fun. Wow, nice! And it gets better. Wait for it. And here it comes. Whoa! Oh my days, that was insane! You guys are even crazier than I am. Shall we have another go? Obviously that's the plan, but we have to climb back up the mountain first. is an awesome bike you got there. A BMW R1200 GS, if I'm not mistaken. One of the most reliable and best-selling motorcycles ever. Okay, I'm right above you. Let's do this. You're biking this time. Not quite the same experience, but I can tell from up here you're gonna have a lot of fun. Wow, nice! And it gets better. Wait for it. And here it comes. Whoa! Oh my days, that was insane! You guys are even crazier than I am. Shall we have another go? Obviously that's the plan, but we have to climb back up the mountain first. That is an awesome bike you got there. A BMW R1200 GS, if I'm not mistaken. One of the most reliable and best-selling motorcycles ever. Back on top. It's time to give it your all, my friend. Full speed. Oh God, hold on to your clutch. Touchdown.
Where I'm taking you, oxygen is scarce. You're literally about to burn the rubber off your tires. And that's not all. Okay, no more teasing. We're talking SSV race in high altitude. For a mad ride.
SSV race on top of a volcano? Damn! I'm so glad I signed up for this. I'll fly around and get better visibility on the track. This soil is extremely hard, dry and rocky, a real car breaker. Luckily, the shock absorbers you've got on that thing are made for this kind of turf. Jump after the cave. This trail is beyond crazy. Motorfest really went all out with this experience. Epic first lap. One more to go. These little buggers skid on every turn. It's like a buggy, but with bigger brakes and more comfort. I need one. Keep left, my friend. The finish line is coming up. Fire! Awesome machine. I wonder if the Motorfest would be willing to give some of these babies away.
race will continue with the traditional off-road discipline, the cross-country rally. Try not to blush. You'll be up against some real stars. The Porsche 959 Raid, the Volkswagen Touareg, or even the Mini Countryman. A whole bunch of vehicles with victories on the biggest rallies in the world.
Here we go again. Same deal. I'll check the way from up here and give you a heads up when the rough patches are coming. Let me be the Chewy to your Han. A rally raid. The Motor Fest sure knows how to seduce me with adventure. And a river runs through it. You've got to cross the river again. Watch out for the current. There's no rescue winch in this chopper. This Defender is like an old-fashioned rugby player. 400 horsepower under a 70-year-old bonnet. That's how we make them in the UK. Change of course, port side. I've done races in South Africa almost as exciting as this one. They were actually quite similar, except they had walking giraffes instead of floating goats. On your right, after the bridge. Expect a little surprise after this jump. They've pulled out all the stops for you. Go cross that line.
Let's keep moving. The next race takes us on an expedition to explore the east of the island. Meadows, mountains, dirt roads and beaches. A program at the crossroads of off-roading. To accompany you in such a race, a famous lady with more experience than any other car, especially prepped for the occasion. The 1967 Volkswagen Beetle Rally Raid version. Isn't just for show, that it can handle its own against the toughest contenders.
What the hell is that goat doing in the sky? Get out of the way, you big... Whew, close call. Great! New terrain. That's part of the beauty of this island. Its incredible diversity of topography. Get ready to turn left on the hill. amazing. This valley is simply gorgeous. It reminds me of when I crossed the Atacama Desert back in my own old Beetle. I got lost for 4 days, but eventually made it, all thanks to the old bugger. A beautiful love story. Until the engine broke down and I exchanged it for a donkey. Uh-oh, this is going to be tough. Oh, it's okay, don't mind me, just keep your foot down. Can you see the ocean, my friend? That is where we're going. Straight on. Okay, you're almost there. I can see the finish line from up here. Well done! That Beetle's still got it.
Happy to help. Let's see if you're in the mood for a little jungle tour. Grab your backpack and try not to get lost. As beautiful as it might be, I'm in no mood for spending a night among the local fauna.
Morning, compadre. I see you've embarked on a 4x4 race through the jungle. That's bold. Call me Captain Obvious, but watch out for the trees. No sandy deserts in Hawaii, just beaches everywhere. Make the most of it. The wet sand is perfect for going at high speed. You're vanishing into the canopy. Even my eagle eyes can't follow you. I'll catch up with you when you come out of the rainforest. Everything okay down there? Still alive? Got you, my friend. Welcome back. How did you like that little jungle cruise? Wow. Okay, listen up. During the next few seconds, no matter what happens, do not close your eyes. You'll soon be out of sight again. If you end up in the mud, don't panic. The Rubicon's traction and huge 33-inch tyres are the best safety insurance you can get. See you at the finish line. Race was mental. You must be knackered.
Has reached its final act. One last race, one final shot of adrenaline to finish this off-roading experience on top of the podium. agree that riding atop the Waimea Valley will be the true high point of this series. Paths are somewhat narrow for large machines. We'll give you a more suitable vehicle, a motocross bike. The Kawasaki KX450F, to be specific, a bike that truly lives up to its reputation. Your opponent for this trial? The clock. You heard me. We're going for a good old time attack. Wild enough to make it on your own?
Bloody hell! How did you get up here? Even my chopper is having a heart attack. So what beast did they get you for this trail? Let me see. Looks like a swift, maneuverable motorcycle, signature lime green. Say no more. This has got to be the one and only KX450. All right then. Ride, climb, fly. Anything's possible with this ride.
One more time. Remix.
Wow, what a sight! I've seen a fair share of them, but this landscape is going to be etched in my memory forever. I can't get enough of this view. The landscapes of this island are really breathtaking. right, then brace for the slope. It's a steep, narrow and technical one. Be extra careful. Do not miss that bridge down there. Huge right turn. And back to civilization. Awe-inspiring adventure, my friend. It was brilliant. I've got to go now, but I look forward to doing this again.
Time to reap your reward. Your vehicle is ready for you to claim. That championship was a wild roller coaster, and you nailed it. As always, an awesome prize is waiting for you at the container. I won't tell you what it is yet, but you can guess it'll be the kind of vehicle that can take you anywhere. Through coursing rivers, deep canyons, and across the greatest stretches of unplundered wilderness. The series experiences you'll find at the Motor Fest might all focus on stiff competition, but they're far from identical. Each series is based on its own specific motorsports field. That's the whole beauty of it. Witnessed it with this playlist. Clearly not your average showdown, right? Different series, different sensations. But one thing is sure, as far as views, thrills and wilderness goes, this off-road experience will be tough to beat. constraints removed. You can now experience it, driver. New playlist ahead. Let's go. Do the terms power over, faint entry, or clutch kick mean something to you? Okay. That might sound a bit technical, but technique is one thing you'll need a lot of. You're speeding to a MotorFest series of mastery and precision, the unique drift experience. For a long time, drifting was illegal in Japan, the drift country of origin. The discipline has come a long way since then. It's now one of the most impressive kind of motorsports, taking place all over the world. As usual, the MotorFest brings together the best and gives you the opportunity to compete against them. A short container break before getting down to business. Controlling the uncontrollable. Let the drift experience begin. Let's move on to another activity. pressure driver? Before letting you drift in the wild, the Motorfest invites you to try your hand-burning rubber on professional track drifting. It's your chance to gain a little confidence. And you'll never slide alone either. Your host came to Hawaii with her crew to teach Japanese street racing. She's a lover of drifting and didn't want to leave without giving a little masterclass. One of the members of the pack from the Made in Japan playlist. If it doesn't ring a bell, well, you know what you could do. The playlist is there waiting for you. Are individual scoring events. Earn maximum points by drifting as long as possible. Hinata might have a tip or two that you could use. At the drifting track of the festival, the first of a series of 3.
Hey, Drifter! Remember me? Didn't think we'd meet again. I'm so happy. You made such a great impression with your Supra, Shingo even wanted to put the same Dragon sticker on his NSX. Honestly, you should come and see his car. Otherwise, he might sulk. Okay, let's focus. As you know, drifting is a bit of a hobby of mine. My job is to coach you by sharing my favorite drills. It's gonna be so cool. My first piece of advice is simple. If you want to drift, just accelerate and drift. This may sound basic, but it's the key. Your Nismo is powerful enough to slide along on its own when you're at high speed, so don't be afraid to keep your foot on the gas. Once you start, the only challenge is managing your tire placement. a Ferris wheel here? And flying sharks too? I'm gonna stay here forever. Of new mastered skills. It's worth all the crew credits in the world.
The drifting module has been specially designed for this series. High above the ground, among the wind turbines, definitely not your average drift experience. Today, it's going to be the M5 Drift Edition for you. It holds the world record for the longest drift, 8 hours. No one's asking you to go that far, but going after the series record is clearly on the table.
I love European cars, but I know almost nothing about them. Except that yours is a 953 horsepower, front-engine, rear-wheel drive car that supports its 1,848 kilo curb weight when it throws itself into a curve. Anyway, you're gonna show me what it's worth. Advice on how to link the turns? While you're in a bend, release the throttle, turn the steering wheel to change course, and hit the throttle again. This way transfer allows you to change direction quickly. Your turn. Great feel for this. Get that combo. That's right, keep drifting.
module is even crazier, just like the car that's waiting for you there. We're a few minutes from the track, so how about I give you 3 clues and you try to guess the car? Ready? So riddle me this. What if I say butterfly doors? I admit, the first hint was too vague. What about stainless steel bodywork? Last one. One of this car's sisters is a famous time machine. Finally arrived. I thought I was going to give it away. Don't worry if you haven't worked out the answer yet, as you're about to see it. Oh, one last thing. Avoid touching the cones. You might lose your combo. Good luck on this last track drifting event, driver.
Wait a minute. Are you telling me they built a drift machine out of a DeLorean? Genius! No way I'm leaving this island without giving it a try. And this place is wonderful. Okay, let me get myself together. Good. The faster you go, the more points you score. There's no flux capacitor on this model, but you have nitro for sure. As well as giving you a boost, nitro can put you back on track when you're drifting too far on the edges. Master this, and you'll be a drift god. I'm serious. At this rate, you're going for the eternal drift. It's the driftway to heaven. Beautiful, but a bit high. Actually, I think I'm gonna puke. Don't leave any points for the others. After this, you're off the beaten track, and it's gonna be even tougher. Proper drift. Heavy. Let's see what your destiny holds for you.
It this time. To put your new skills to the test with the most traditional drifting discipline. patience with nature, to toge time attacks on winding volcanic roads. Experience series has its requirements, meaning that you can only drive a drift car, but certainly not a boring drift car. You're about to drift with a 1969 Shelby geared up in a JDM fashion, a jewel you won't find elsewhere.
Let's get down to toge business. You have all the skills a pro drifter can have. Now it's about being thorough. You've already beaten Hayato. What do you have to fear today? Sure, you were driving the best car in the world that night, my RX-7, but still, you were on fire. Remember how to ride a bike? It's the same. Your eyes guide the vehicle. Once you've taken the inside track, look for the outside to anticipate the next move and not lose your combo. This descent can be tricky. If you want my opinion, no need to look for the perfect drift. The faster you get to the finish line, the higher your score will be. Swing that, Shelby. Even legends need to be roughed up sometimes. Just a little more effort. See what's next.
After an old-fashioned ride, you might want to try a more recent car. It's a major Japanese supercar, transformed into a super drifter. The Motorfest team's put a lot of work into it. Camber adjustment in the front, 200 kilos shaved off the scale, but above all, it's got a 900 horsepower boost. Let me present one of the new monsters of the festival, the 2021 Toyota Super Drift Edition. This time attack is the end of the Toge segment, driver. Enjoy this last solitary moment.
Toge dance. Same drifting song. 3 minutes to make the best score. In love with what Toyota did with this new Supra, the 5th generation of a myth. Only 3 turns left on that route. Come on, you can make it before the end of the countdown. One down. The second. Cross that line! That was so intense.
like looking for this Supra in a shop, driver. The only one way to get this Motorfest edition is to finish on the podium. Is, the Motorfest designed this drift experience to answer one question. Can a drift car race street cars? Get ready for a duel of the schools. Drifters versus street racers. Opponents won't just be names on a board anymore. They're waiting for you on the grid with their street rides. Have you ever seen a Lamborghini skid? Well, you're about to. For this first rodeo, we're giving you a fully prepped Lamborghini Aventador with extra attitude. Not your average Lambo.
For your first race. And we finally meet our street enemies. This is gonna be interesting. Drift Team 1, Street Team 0. Is powerful as hell. With so many horses, they'll try to run wild with every acceleration. So hold your reins tight. The street racers are just waiting for you to come off the road. pilot. Maybe I can be useful. Expect a big turn sequence in now. Forget the nitro if you slip too hard. It'll straighten you out. '90-degree angle. Prepare to take the inside track.
Driver, you see how a drift car can challenge street cars now? Every turn you encounter becomes an advantage that others don't have. The next car belongs to a line of traditional racing champions, the Skyline GTRs. These cars were game changers in the 90s. Monsters created to win absolutely everything. The R34 you're about to drive is a worthy descendant.
of things to teach you. Maybe I'll just enjoy the show. Right on. Nostalgic for our Wangan moment. Whew, you already know the car. But this one, what style? You're giving the competition a real fashion lesson. When you manage to drift this bulky bodywork, it's just magic. Drift for style or tight drift for speed. Your choice. Both are impressive in their own way. Long slide incoming. Bitten off by the kaiju.
Time. If you want to train one last time, follow Waimea Valley. The mountain road will take you to the climax. other word for the next car. Besides being a natural-born drifter, this car is just the most precious thing in the world for your host. No need to say more. You already know the car and what it's capable of. We just couldn't go with any other car for the last drift versus street race. The RX-7, a drifting emperor.
Baby. I'm so moved to see you with the RX-7 again. It's giving me goosebumps. Even more so with this new style. Sorry, racers, you are outmatched. I think that the bird is ready to leave its nest. What more can I say? Well, maybe one thing. Show these guys what a true drifter is. This turn was vicious. Be careful, there are a few more like that. Woohoo! That's the drift supremacy! Sequence will be tight. Final stretch. Give it everything! Congratulations! That was just perfect. See you later.
You haven't claimed your reward for this playlist. It was so cool to see you get stronger as the playlist went on. You can be proud. Drifting is... Playlist unlocked. All clear for you to indulge in, driver. Playlist cleared and ready for takeoff, driver. drift experience to the next level.